Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk about marketing social media tactics. Welcome. Today, Lani Lott is your presenter. We're so glad that you're here. This is the Shasta SBDC. That's the Small Business Development Center, the Shasta-Cascade SBDC, as we refer to ourselves. Here at the Shasta-Cascade SBDC, we provide no-cost, confidential, one-on-one advisory services to entrepreneurs and to small businesses in both Shasta and Trinity counties. We also offer no-cost or low-cost workshops and webinars, just like this one. We're funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration, the state of California, and Humboldt State University. Many of the webinars, we often have people joining us who are not in these areas, and we want you to know there are SBDC locations across the United States. You can go to Google and search SBDC and your location, and you'll be able to find one near you. Thanks so much for joining us. Let me introduce to you Lani Lott.
Thank you, Linda, and welcome everybody. I'm going to keep my video on so you know that there is a person behind this PowerPoint presentation. And then once we get into the content of today's or tonight's webinar, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my video and move through the presentation. And we have a lot of information to cover, so I probably will be asking for questions at the end. And of course, you can always, along the way, if you have a question, go ahead when it's top of mind and type it in your chat box. And you'll find that along your bar that's on the bottom, usually on the bottom of your screen, and you see chat. If you don't see it in the bar, just hover over the three dots and hit the chat, and then go ahead and type in there your question, and then Linda at the end of this presentation will help moderate those questions, and I'll get them answered for you. So I'm going to move on here. So tonight's agenda for tonight's social media marketing tactics is we're going to have I'm going to do an introduction of myself. Then we're going to I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my chat box. I'm going to go over the 8 most popular social media platforms that our businesses use. And these are the top popular ones. There's many out there. So we're going to go through the big top dogs. I'm going to provide an overview of each platform, the demographics that they are geared for, some of the features. And then I'm also going to show you where you find insights and their matrix, so you know how to measure or look at how your social media platforms are performing. I'm going to then also talk about some best practices. So this is me, yes. It's a pretty current picture. It was pre-COVID-19, so it might be a little bit, maybe I have a few more pounds from sitting around the house, but anyways, I am the president of LL Consulting. I have 20 years of working in economic development and downtown revitalization, with about that many years also doing business advising for many Northern California small business development centers. Currently, I am working with the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center, been with them for 8 years, and I cover most all aspects of business planning, startups, business succession planning, and really dive a lot into marketing, branding, and digital marketing. So I'm going to go ahead, turn off my, if I find it down here, turn off my video, and then we will get going. Okay, so social media marketing. What is it? What does it mean? Obviously, it is right now currently one of the ways, the key ways that we are engaging with our customers and delivering messages about our hours, about how we're delivering our products and services, staying engaged and developing our relationship with our target market or our consumer base. So social media popular matrix, this is used for most of the time, most of our businesses, from business to consumer, used to interest in the popular social media sites by pushing out content on social media systems that have the most users, and also used on less popular systems that have the best opportunities for promotion of your business. So the most popular ones are Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook Messenger, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok. These are really about you as a business pushing out or delivering content to your consumer base, to engage them, to educate them, to communicate with them, to promote your business, your products, and your services. The next area that we see social media marketing used is the business-to-business networking. And this is really designed for B2B, as we call it in the business world jargon, connections to improve and enhance business networking efforts. And of course, the big social media that's very popular for business-to-business networking is LinkedIn. And everyone should have a LinkedIn profile and use that to really connect with your business colleagues, with other folks that are in your industry, and really look at what's going on in your business industry. And then finally, the last social media type of marketing is managing your online reputation. And these are really about your review sites, Yelp, TripAdvisor, Google My Business, and which provides local business information. And this is really about maintaining your strong reputation that you have online. So think about these three areas when you're looking at your social media platforms and how you're using them, why you're using them. Do you need to look at developing maybe one of them a little bit more? They've kind of taken a back seat, and now with some of the changes in the business marketplace, we're going to be looking at upping our online reputation or doing more of our business-to-business networking. So here is a great graph that was shared from Dream Grow, and it shows you the 15 most popular social media sites. And this was from August 2018. I am sure that these lines are much longer now with everything that's been going on since we've had the pandemic. But Facebook is still king, as you can see, the blue line, and then YouTube is right underneath it. Then we go into Instagram, Q-Zone, I'm not really familiar with that, and then we could kind of come down to Twitter, and then down here is Pinterest, and then LinkedIn. So these are by the millions of folks that are using these social media platforms, whether it's for personal or business. So let's talk a little bit about the basics. And this is just a refresher about some of the basic best practices for social media marketing. You want to remember, no matter what platform you're using, to completely fill out each profile to its fullest. Each of the social media platforms have a place where you can showcase your business, talk about your description of your products and services, where you're located, about your business, your employees. Even on Facebook business page allows you to put in your menu. So this is the back. You're looking here at the back end of my business Facebook page, and you can see there's lots of areas to develop. So you want to really take time to make sure that all the links are working and that you are using your social media platform to its fullest and most effective by completing every area that is appropriate for your business. You want to monitor your insights and look for the best times to post, to engage with your audience when they're online. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into the different matrices or insights. And all of the social media platforms, or majority of them, have a place where you can see when your post or your tweet or your story hits a peak with your audience. And then that's telling you that that's the time that your audience or your customers are probably looking at your feed or your tweet, and they're online at that time. So you want to kind of think about scheduling future content for that time. Third area that's a best practice, which I just firmly believe in, whether we're in a economic crisis like we are now, or a disaster from the pandemic, or we just are in everyday business, is to create a content roadmap and or calendar. Lay out your strategy. Think about each of your social media platforms and what is the type of content that you want to push out over the next month or the week, however you do it, so that it has some consistency, so that you are a balance of your type of content that you are pushing out through your social media. Are you balanced with videos versus just organic post? Are you adding some stories? Are you doing some polls? So kind of thinking about who's your audience, what's the purpose of the platform, what's your objective, and then laying out the content to align with that. And then finally, actively manage your accounts by replying to all comments and messages. Very important. And I know some of our businesses may have thousands of followers. I don't have that many. I think I have 200 and something. But you want to make sure, whether you have 2 followers or you have 2,000 followers, that when they comment or send you a direct message, that you respond immediately to them. It is very key, especially now when most people are communicating online or virtually. We're not able to go to our office or to our shop and have customers come in. We're communicating online. So always make sure you're commenting, thanking them for their response, answering their question. And that's always a way that you can make sure you're engaging real time with your social media audience. So here's a few do's and don'ts, and I'm sure all of you are pretty seasoned in social media on at least one platform. So you do want to use concise, looks like copy. That's it. That's the word. I thought I kind of whited that out. So you want to use concise copy. That means make sure that what you're posting is, if you're sharing a post, that it's an actual, it's real, right? It's been vetted, and that it's concise, and you don't want it to be really long, and that you are able to deliver that content so that it makes sense to your audience. Be consistent. I personally post like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I schedule it out that way. I am a believer that you should try to post on your social media platforms, the ones that you are using religiously, at least 2 to 3 times a week. If you could get up to 5 times, great. Never think that it's too much. It's only too much for you as the business owner, trying to keep fresh, thinking about content that's relevant, being sensitive to the marketplace that we're operating in, especially if you aren't having the opportunity to get out and, for example, if Instagram is your platform of choice, taking real photos, you're having to look at using some third-party programs. Practice social listening. That means, again, responding to comments, being sensitive to how you are delivering your message, and then look and take time to see what some of your other business colleagues or partners may be posting, and post something on their social media platform. Comment, oh gosh, your website looks great, really like your new website, so happy that you're back open again. So, kind of maybe supporting each other. Shoot photos and videos for the intended platform. Each platform has some kind of measurement and resolution or DPIs that are appropriate for that platform. If you're taking photos with your iPhone, a trick that I just learned from taking a webinar myself on taking great photos for your social media platforms is take your photos, take your picture bigger than you're planning to use it on one of your specific social media platforms. For example, you think, oh, this is a great photo, I'd like to put this on Facebook. But let's say you want to take it bigger, so you can maybe crop it, take different pieces out of it to use it in different formats, repurposing it for your social media platforms. And then analyze your reporting. Always want to be looking at your insights. You're going to receive my PowerPoint deck at tomorrow or the next day after the webinar. And this link is actually something that Constant Contact put out that gives you a cheat sheet of what each of the popular social media platforms require in terms of their image sizes. It's a really great reference tool. So I'm going to share that with you tonight. So don't post too often. I just told you to post 3 times a week, right? I didn't say 3 times a day times 3 times a week. So again, be sensitive to that you're posting relevant, organic, which means it's content that you're creating. You're not just sharing everything you see. So be just sensitive to posting too much. Don't ignore comments. Don't use irrelevant hashtags. I'll get into that a little bit more. Don't publish the exact same post across all different platforms. That sounds like it's going to be easy for you and cut down on some of your time. But let me tell you, followers and your audience will pick up very quickly on that. The only one that, and right now, as we know, Facebook owns Instagram, and you can link an Instagram account with one Facebook account. And if you post on Instagram on your business, that's going to transfer over to your Facebook page. So you just want to be sensitive that sometimes what you post on Instagram doesn't look the same on Facebook. So you might want to just be sensitive to being what you're doing when you're cross-referencing or cross-promoting the same content across your platforms. And then post videos that are too long. Our attention span is pretty, we don't have a long one. Consumers are right now have a lot going on in their home or their virtual office. And so it says that the average is that people will stay and look at a video for under a minute. If it's engaging and I'm trying to learn something like how to change my oil, I might look at it longer than a minute. But they're really saying keep it under a minute if you can. Okay, so let's dive into these social media platforms that we all love and use. So yes, Facebook is still the top social platform, and it reaches a wider variety of users demographically than any of the other social networks. Now, I know Facebook gets a bad rap sometimes, but it is still king. There are 1.4 billion daily users, and the people between 25 and 34 years old is the biggest segment of users in the United States. However, the boomers are the fastest growing age demo right behind them. And then 71% of US adults use Facebook. They may be using it for personal reasons, but you'll have to remember your business page content and sponsored ads drop into individual feeds. And so that's where they're getting a lot of the information about what businesses are offering, what type of products and services they may be selling, because Facebook just launched Facebook Shop. You can actually purchase right off of Facebook. They're also the place where there's a lot of nonprofits have Facebook pages. That's where they're promoting their virtual events that they've converted into either Zoom or some other platform. And then it's interesting that Facebook is still the most popular social network site in rural areas. And I put that in here because many of the communities in our Northern California Small Business Development Center network is in rural. In fact, one of our key areas is Trinity County, which is one of the smallest rural areas in the state of California. So when we're talking about Facebook, use Facebook to share educational content, inspirational posts, live videos, and information that's tailored to the interest of your followers. So remember, we're talking about a business page. So you want to keep in mind how this then maybe relates back to your business and supports your business mission, your business goals, and the followers from your business page. So educational content right now is get tips about how to use a product, or just generally how your business can benefit them. Inspirational posts right now are through the roof because of this uncertain times we're living in. And then live videos, those one of the ones that I suggest to some of my clients is walk around and take a live video for a couple minutes and just show your business now that it's reopened or it's getting ready to reopen. Show them what you're doing in terms of social distancing, some of the protocol for protecting the consumer, and include your workforce. My daughter has a roofing business in Nevada County, and she just took a picture with her entire roofing crew with all of the shirts on, with the branded shirts, and they all have brand new masks. And she said, "We're masked up for you, ready to go." So it was, again, showing that they are practicing the best guidelines, or for ensuring that not only when they roof, but they're also that the workforce is safe. So then some of the features, and Facebook has a lot of them, and we can, I'm going to be doing over the next 3 months, almost every week on Wednesdays from 11 and 12, I am doing a 1-hour digital marketing deeper dive into some of the features across all social media platforms. And those are listed on our calendar. So watch for those. An hour, just a quick 20-minute overview, and then I'm going to show you live exactly some of the features, like a LinkedIn, like how to best practices for creating an Instagram story, which then can sit on your Facebook page too. So Facebook business features include selling on Facebook. Just talked a little bit about shop. Facebook Live and videos. And remember, all of those sit in your library so folks can see them and access them anytime they go to your business page. And then you can also down the road repurpose them, send them out. If you did a live video a couple months ago, maybe you go dive and dig into your library and say, hey, let me refresh this a little bit, do another post that's relevant to this month. Not maybe it was a video that was relevant a couple months ago. You could repurpose that. Facebook stories, those are becoming very popular, again, because Facebook owns Instagram, and it's real easy to put those across each of those platforms. Facebook groups, I'm going to be talking about that in a couple weeks, how to start your own Facebook group. Many of us may be in some personal groups or business-related groups, but maybe it's time for you to consider creating your own group or community where you invite folks to be part of your inner circle, and you use them as a body to maybe test new products and services, or have engagement about what they like about a certain product, or just to share likes about your services. Facebook advertising's been around a long time. It's becoming more popular because it's accessible. And then Facebook Messenger. Facebook owns Facebook Messenger. It is a separate platform, but it is one way that many businesses are direct messaging their customers and getting to them and reminding them that they're open, or that today this special products on sale, or let's say it's a restaurant and they have a special going for this special dessert, and they can just direct message all of their followers directly from Facebook Messenger. It's also the DMs, as we call them, direct message, or Facebook Messenger or Instagram, or whichever one you're using. They're also a way for customer service to resolve any issues. If you send a thank you out to a customer that bought and purchased something either online from you, or it was delivered, or they came in your shop and were able to actually do a social distancing safe purchase with you, you can then turn around and Facebook message them and say, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you found our shop. I hope you found what you wanted. Is there any questions you have about our products or services or our hours or how we're protecting your safety? So those are the ways that we're using Facebook Messenger. So Facebook Insights, you should look at all of these. You should dig down deep into them. Sometimes when we go in behind the screen or behind the curtain, we begin to ask and say, what does this all mean? We'll just, take a deep dive and just start looking at it. And then if you have any questions, we're always here as advisors, or ask your fellow colleagues. But the page summary section gives you a quick snapshot of activity on your page, like views, likes, and reach. And then click on export data on the top right. And I circled this right here so you could find it. This is an interesting area. And there you can get much more detailed results. You can split it out into audience details, post data like impressions, and you can actually export reports up to 6 months of data at a time in one report. So instead of just seeing, let's say, a snapshot of just a week, you can go in there and export, let's say, the 6 months ago, and then compare it to 6 months previously or now, and look at those two reports and say, boy, this kind of content was really engaging. It really had a lot of reach, and we really saw a spike in how many people started following our page. So it gives you an opportunity to pull that out, look at it, maybe talk with some of your colleagues or your employees or whoever may be helping you with your social media, Facebook page, and say, okay, what do we need to change to make this better? Or look at everybody is online at these times. Let's start scheduling our posts for that time. So lots of juicy information in those insight pages. Now we're going to switch to Instagram. Many people are using and finding Instagram. It is the most popular social media platform, especially with millennials and Generation X. I don't mean to put people into different generational buckets, but that is who is really attracted to Instagram. 1 billion people use Instagram every month. 500 million use Instagram stories every day. A third of the most viewed stories are from businesses. And then, as you can see, users spend about an average of 28 minutes per day on Instagram. And Instagram is, primarily was set up as a photo or image platform. And like I mentioned, Facebook purchased Instagram, I think in 2016. So it is, they are becoming easier to integrate the two. And now you actually can go on your desktop and see your Instagram account. I find it hard to do it on the desktop because it's real small. I have to really, magnify it, make it, zoom it in, but it is able to. And then their Instagram's shoppable feature is only, and Facebook's shoppable features are only able to access them by using your desktop. So 2 things to remember. Unless you have 10,000 or more followers on Instagram, and they have a different level. So use Instagram to share picturesque shots. It is about image. It is about telling that kind of getting an emotion or talking about something through pictures. Think about sharing user-generated content. That is sharing content that one of your followers or another business may have posted or shared on their profile, but you always want to remember to ask for permission. It's real key. Use carousels. Carousels are where you loop different pictures together to create you know, like a rotating, one of the stores in that I go to, it's a consignment store, and they push out every day, twice a day, maybe, different images or of clothes laid out. They're a women's clothing consignment. And so then they'll lay that out and they'll put the actual cost of it. And then at the end of the week, she links all of those stories or all of those posts together and then has it as a story. And so then it's a carousel. Instagram is huge on hashtags. And why do hashtags matter on Instagram? It is one of the most important aspects, and it makes your content easier to find. Think about Instagram hashtags organizing your content, organizing the content so that if other folks are looking and wanting to search unique places to visit in Reading, or, you know, Trinity River or the Sacramento River floats trips, then if you've used that hashtag, then it will group you in with all of the other folks that are using that same type of hashtag, and then folks can go through that hashtag with all those images and click on that image and see what that post was about. So it gives you the ability to help organize and categorize your content. It acts like Instagram's search engine. Really important. So use hashtags in all of your Instagram posts and stories. Just don't go overboard. And it can clue you in on industry trends too. When you go and look and maybe do some searching on Instagram through the hashtags in your industry, it can kind of give you insight. So what are the best practices for hashtags? I could do a whole hour on that. If you are a business that's using Instagram as your primary social media platform, you may want a branded hashtag. And that's where your hashtag is hashtag, let's say, LL Consulting. That's the name of my business. And every time I post, I'm going to put that, I actually have it in my profile. And then I encourage folks to also use that when they are talking about my business. You know, you can say, again, a community I work with may say, oh gosh, we just had Lani here, she did a great job. Here's a picture of the workshop. Yeah, I know my picturesque shots aren't as glamorous. Hashtag LL Consulting. And then I get, you know, folks will then, who are following that user's Instagram, will then go look at hashtag LL Consulting to learn more about my business. You can use up to 30 hashtags in an Instagram post or story, but we kind of recommend that's a lot. So, and you may kind of think about that too when you're looking at an Instagram post. If you say a whole bunch of hashtags, usually 10, people look at the first 10. So anyways, think about that and using hashtags. So then also Instagram stories, and these are becoming very popular, very popular. They don't last real long. They're only like on there for 24 hours. It lets followers know your account has recently been active. So a story is posted in its real time and over a day, and then it goes away. Now there are some tricks to the trade that businesses can use to archive stories and then highlight them and then post them as, let's say, I see this a lot with organizations that do events for 2019, and they'll string or highlight all, the stories that maybe showcased of their 4 events over the year. And then it sits there so folks can access it really quickly. I'm sure you've seen these as circles in Instagram, and that's what those are. So then also, your Instagram business profile. What's different from your business profile than your personal profile is that your business profile gives you contact information and a link in a bio. It gives you the ability to have a bio about your business. It does have a certain amount of categories, but then you also can have a link to your website. And then it does provide business Instagram profiles give you detailed insights or matrix. And again, I told you can also show your Instagram account on your Facebook business page along a navigation template. You now can show that you have an Instagram business page and it will link you over there. As with Facebook, now we can do shoppable post in Instagram. And then of course we have advertising. Now, I am not a big Instagram user for my business. I'm gonna confess. I've tried. I try to remember to take pictures when I'm out in the field. Right now, I'm not out in the field, so I could only be taking pictures about my backyard, but that's not about my business. So I do have some photos on there, and I try to remember when I'm out in a community to take the picture of the community and then hashtag it and post it to my Instagram. I use my Facebook business page much more, along with LinkedIn and my website. Instagram has not been one that I've used a lot to promote my own personal business. But I am going to, one of my goals is to try to start using that more and get maybe more than 7 posts. But I wanted to show you on mine where the insights are. So down under your edit your profile, because this is my back end of my Instagram, you'll see insights. And there is where you click. And they're limited, not as many as some of the other social media platforms provide, but it does have 3 components: content, quick snapshot of your recent posts and stories and how they're performing, has a area of activity where you can look at your reach, your impression, and your interaction, and then your audience. It does offer insights into age, gender, and location of your followers, and the hours and the days that they are most active. Oh, I say I need to put an A in that R, not a hyphen. Sorry about that, folks. Anyways, look at those insights and see what is, how you're performing, what they're doing, and kind of take some time to look into your Instagram insights. If you're using that a lot as your social media platform of choice, you are probably looking at insights all the time. And again, analyzing how they're doing, what type of stories or picturesque posts or hashtags are really performing well. And the goal of all of our social media platforms is always to engage, reach, and share. So we have different terms for it depending on the platform, but that's like a retweet in Twitter or a share on Facebook or a comment. So these are all very important, and these are what really move up your algorithm in both of these social media platforms and help you be seen more by not only your followers in their newsfeed, but by potential people that have interest in your type of business. Okay, let me move on. I gotta find my little browser button here. There we go. So Twitter. Okay, again, I'm not a huge Twitter fan, but I do know it. I do follow it. I do have a handle. And it is a fast-moving platform. Content that thrives on this channel is topical and concise. There's 330 million active monthly users. Americans are the largest percenter of the Twitter's user base. And 44% of Americans that use it are 18 to 24 years old that use Twitter as their platform of choice. And I will say that my 24-year-old, when she's on social media, she's taking a break from it right now. But anyway, she's a pretty active user. She is way about Twitter. That age group is all about sharing things and talking about different musicians and music they like and all kinds of things. And then 12% of Americans get their news from this platform, which is very interesting. And tweets with hashtags get 100% more engagement. Twitter was founded in 2006, by the way. So you want to use Twitter The type of content you want to share on Twitter or information is news about your destination or business. Again, by design, Twitter lends itself to an audience for interaction that's quick, consistent, and impactful. Platforms that are evolve around speed, focus on breaking news. At its core, like I said, it is a news platform. So share news about your industry or your business. People that are on Twitter are looking for news. That's, you know, like I said, very live, fast moving, breaking. Think about quick updates, sales and specials. I know of a hair salon that uses Twitter to announce that she's got a few openings, that cancellations. Just want to let you know, and she tweets it out in the very short amount of characters that you have on Twitter to let folks know that she has an appointment that's opened up in 2 hours, to either private message her or call her or retweet and let her know. So that is one example of like breaking news. Videos are huge on Twitter. Think about a behind the scene video or videos of experience, like I've talked about when people come to visit your business. Now you got to remember to take the video, and then you've got to then you got to tweet it, right? So part of the challenge we have with content for social media is that, yeah, you can find some content by sharing user-generated content, but most of it is organic, or means we have to remember to take the picture or do the video, and then or put together the story elements. But we as business owners, if you're in charge of your own social media platform, or if you're blessed to have a marketing manager or somebody that helps you with that, they have to have the content. You should be using 2 hashtags per tweet is the best practice to maximize engagement. Keep track of important hashtags and connect with influencers and other users by offering value wherever possible. Tweet consistently. Whether you're tweeting once per day or 5 times per day, make sure you maintain a consistent presence on Twitter. This seems to be very important for that. So Twitter is also can be used for customer service, just like I mentioned, Facebook and Instagram. People will frequently tweet about things that they buy or things that they're considering to purchase. They have a special customer service feature that allows businesses to quickly respond to their customers' needs. This helps businesses manage their online reputation, remember when I talked about that in the beginning, and develop good relationships with customers, and encourages customers' loyalty. Anytime you're asking a question, or folks on social media pretty much can tweet or share or comment anything they want to about your business or about the product. And so if it's ever let's say an unhappy customer, you should always private message them and take it offline. Deal with the situation offline. We don't want to go into a content back and forth with a customer that has been unhappy with something from your business. And we all know we try our hardest to deliver the highest level of customer service, and sometimes it just falls short for whatever reason. Maybe the person's having a hard day, maybe it didn't deliver as like they thought it was supposed to. Maybe it came broken, especially because we're delivering a lot of things online, or we're ordering online and it's coming through different types of third-party programs or delivery services. So if someone takes that opportunity and comments publicly, take it offline. That's why I say, think about how you can follow up with your customers using direct message through any of the social media platforms, and just ask them, how did they like the product? Did it arrive on time? Did they have any questions? Was there anything that you could improve upon? And it's privately, right? So some of the business features for a business Twitter account or handle is that does have the private direct message feature. You can advertise on it, has that customer feedback. You can create lists, and then it does have the analytics also. So there are, again, ways to measure how your tweets are performing if that is your social media platform of choice. And to find it, you go to More and click on Analytics. So here is the More section, and here is Analytics right here. And then your tweet highlights contain the top tweet, mention, follower, and media, which whether that's a photo, a video, or a GIF, those are those funny little things that pop up and make you laugh. Also gives a quick glance at your matrix, including tweets sent, impressions, profile visits, mentions, and new followers. So there's quite a bit of information that you can dive deeper into finding out about how your Twitter handle, business handle is doing and how you can improve upon it. I don't know, I always like to go to insights, and I try to encourage my clients or people I'm working with to look at it as a positive. Don't go in there and be embarrassed that you only had 7 posts like I did on my Instagram page. Go in there and say, oh gosh, let me see what this all says. Let me see what, oh my gosh, look at, on that day I had 71 people respond and share my post. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. That's a high performing post. Maybe I should boost that. Maybe I should do another post around that type of content. So go in there looking for what's working well and not focusing on how bad it was doing, if that makes sense to you, right? The glass is half full, or is it half empty? Okay, so let's move on to LinkedIn. It was launched in 2002 to help business professionals network and connect. It was founded and actually created by one of the earlier members of PayPal. So when they got bought out by PayPal, then they decided to try they launched LinkedIn. And the growth was slow at first, but today there is about 467 million members. When LinkedIn was first launched, it was you had to pay for it. And then now they have, of course, the free account, and then you can go into the premium account. And I recommend you only pay for LinkedIn if you're really using it for a job search type of platform. But if you're using it for business to business, or just to stay connected with colleagues, to look at groups about your industry, to be used as a place where folks can go see your resume, see what your areas of expertise are, and actually get reviews. That's all in the free account. So I know I always hear from clients like, well, I just thought that was for if you needed a job. Well, indirectly, we all need a job, whether it's a customer job, customers coming in, or it's, for me as a consultant, it's a contract. So it is a way to connect with folks that are in your industry and share information. It gives you another place to really polish up your personal profile and your personal skill set. And then your business page is all about your business. So we have the personal profile about you, and then if you choose, you can do a business page. So it really depends on how you can manage it. There are 303 million monthly active users. 154 plus million American workers have profiles, and 50% of users access LinkedIn via their mobile. So again, that's a very, again, a lot of people are using their mobile. So what do we share on LinkedIn? Like I said, it is one of the most popular social media business to business networking channels for professionals. So blog posts, if you are blogging, or if you haven't blogged, you might want to blog. Basically, blogging is just writing a short piece of information that has some value to your followers. That is what you could share. There is also a feature where you can actually write an article and post the article. The one thing I like about LinkedIn, it does give you the ability to post a PDF, which Facebook doesn't. So if you have written an article or you have an article of information that you have permission to share, you can PDF it and post it in your feed so folks can access that. Industry news and research. Again, thinking about keeping folks aware of what some of the trends are in your business and how it adds benefit to them. Maybe some of the new products that are being launched and how are they going to make everyone's life better. What is some industry news and research that will make your business a little stronger that you can then share with your followers? Or your employees, using it as a tool for educating your employees so they're better sales or customer service reps. Quick tips, again, simple posts that include leadership tips and tricks do well on LinkedIn. Since it's a professional network, keep your topics to subjects that encourage productivity, leadership, and professional success. Another way to approach it would be this style of update is by offering a simple text quote that's appropriate for your audience. Also, in-depth how-to and list. Quick tips, I talked about that. Photo updates. Again, giving photo update of your business. It's open, your home office, all of those kind of things. And then company updates. Anything about your business and maybe you personally as a professional in your business. I am going to be doing LinkedIn Digital Marketing Hour. I think that's my next one that's coming up in July 22nd. So you may want to just get more comfortable with the difference of the profile and then how you move over into the feed and see where some of these bells and whistles are that are kind of hidden that can boost your profile on that social media platform. And then the business features give you full development and leverage to your personal profile, publish valuable content. You can include rich media, LinkedIn groups, which are very, for you as a, you may want to join a group so that it's about your business. The group is relative to something within your business. And then you go into that group like you do Facebook business groups and you engage with those folks and you talk. You maybe want to post about your business if you're an expert in a field on a topic that the group's talking about. You can showcase pages and then you can advertise on LinkedIn.
Excuse me, Lani.
Yes.
I just want to ask a question that Maurice has in the chat because it's relevant to the page you're on.
Sure.
He's wondering, do you recommend getting a bio profile writer?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I don't think so. Actually, it depends on if you're using LinkedIn, the profile for job searching for another job or contract, maybe depending on what industry it is. But frankly, I found that the bio is much more, my bio, I kind of personalized it. My profile bio is much more personalized. It's about why I love what I do, how I got into the business, talks a little bit about my kind of what I've worked on over the years. My resume is where I would use a professional, maybe somebody to look at it professionally. Is it sitting there, and is it a resume that is really capturing your skill set and where your job experience is? But the bio, I personally don't think it needs to be professionally written. I think that is really something that, depending on what industry you are, and if everybody in your industry looks at a bio and it is pretty technical and that's where they need it to be much more polished, then I would say maybe yes.
Lani, can I add a little bit there? I love that you talked about resumes. Because with resumes, it can be really helpful to have someone help you write that, someone who's involved in what are the keywords the search engines are looking for. Because sometimes you can apply for a position and you won't even be considered because you're not using the current terminology. So I love that you brought that idea up on resumes.
Yes, great. Thank you, Linda. And then where do we find the LinkedIn? Over here is my back into my LinkedIn business page, which I did not start. They just grabbed it, I guess, from my profile and gave me a page, and there's nothing on it because I don't use LinkedIn for my business. But again, the analytics sits right up here at the top. You click on the Me icon at the top of your LinkedIn page, then choose your company page under that, under the management section, kind of talking you through it there. And then the analytics tab, and you can choose visitors, data on people who visited your page, updates, engagement matrix for content posted on LinkedIn, and then followers. And then there's an activity dashboard too. So you can really kind of go in if you're using LinkedIn as one of your priority social media platforms. A lot of professionals use this, event planners, you know, CPAs that have CPA businesses. A lot of those type of people use LinkedIn Business for really generating a lot of business for their business. A lot of those type of professionals, type of businesses. I found when I updated my LinkedIn page, just about, I took some time and I sent out and asked for some reviews. And I also reconnected with folks that I had not connected with, some of my colleagues or folks that I had done business with or I knew were still in the field. And it's interesting, after I did that, I had a notification that I had 15 LinkedIn views on my profile page. So, hey, I was thinking, okay, that's pretty good. I got my word out there and people know I'm still in business, right? I'm still a consultant. I'm still doing what I do. And that's really key. So Google My Business. Now this is something that everybody should have. Every business should have it. And even if you're like me, and I have worked for the last 20 years as a home office, I have Google My Business. So Google My Business was launched in 2014. It is a free tool that lets you manage how your business appears on Google Search and Maps. So you know when you search a business and it pops up on the map, this is how they know, because that business has leveraged this very valuable free tool. It includes adding your business name, location and hours, monitoring, replying to customer reviews, adding photos, learning where and how people are searching for you, and more. And you have to know, because Google owns it, that it is also going to help you with your search engine optimization, right? So Google My Business stats: 1 in 3 smartphone searches occur right before consumers visit a business or store, especially for traveling, especially because we have our mobiles in our hand 24/7. We want to say we don't, but reality is we do. And it is the first device that we pick to Google something, right? We just used it in our language. We don't carry our desktops, and some people carry their iPads around, but you know, my phone is always with me. And if I'm needing them to find out if a store is open or where's the address or give me the directions, it's through my handheld. 18% of local searches buy a product within a day. 50% of consumers visit a business within a day of conducting a local search, and then 62% of computer tablet users and 72% of smartphone users search locally before visiting a store within 5 miles. So just make sure you are on Google My Business, and if you are on Google My Business, go in and update your profile. Optimize your presence on the internet with your listing, and GMB means Google My Business listing. Have you added any photos? They will take videos, reviews, messages. You can actually do direct messages to your customer from Google My Business. And then your products, you can actually now list your products right on your profile, optimizing your listing using the products feature. It feature products now, as well as any project collections, complete with images, details, pricing, and related projects. This feature is an awesome way to keep customers engaged without leaving your Google My Business profile. It lets users view more information about your products and services. It also now, Google My Business now lets you link to your social media via the icons, social media icons. So you can put your Facebook icon on there, your Twitter, your YouTube, MySpace, Pinterest, any of those that you use. You can actually put the icon right on Google My Business and then link to it. Again, a feature that they just added, which makes it extremely valuable for folks to lead them to your other social media platforms. And they do have insights. On your iPhone, you open your Google My Business app, tap home, and at the top, you'll find the number of views, searches, and activities for your listing. How customers find your listing, search queries, customer actions, direction requests, phone calls, photos, where businesses find you on Google. So there is a lot of insights in Google My Business. A lot of times businesses get on Google My Business and then they forget their password, or they just, forget about that they have it because they're so busy using another one of the social media platforms. So go in and just check yours out and update it the best you can. At this point, it doesn't hurt how many of your social media platforms you launched, when you launched them. If you're not actively using them, that's okay. Just go in and update the profiles so that they're current hours, current emails, current website links, current how you can deliver the products if you're using Postmates or if you have curbside. Nothing is more frustrating right now than, especially because we don't know who's open when. And if you're not updating your own profiles and changing your hours, you're going to have some frustrated customers, especially if they can't find the phone number or you don't respond to your email. So these are all kind of what we're dealing with in this virtual world, this online world we're operating in. So just go in there, take some time, and minimally just do your homework. Just get in there and update them. Not that hard. And then you'll feel really great about yourself too. Okay, YouTube. How am I doing on time here? I'm whizzing through these. Okay. So YouTube, it was a closed launch in 2010. Wait a minute, that's the wrong one. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm reading the wrong notes on something. But anyways, it was founded in 2005 by 3 employees who also worked at PayPal. And it was acquired by Google in 2006. And now is the 2nd largest search engine next to Google. So YouTube is very popular, has 2 billion logged in monthly users. 81% of them are 15 to 25-year-olds in the US use YouTube. People upload 500 hours of video every minute. Each visitor spends about 11 minutes and 24 seconds per day on YouTube on the average. And it is the 2nd most preferred platform for watching video on TV screens among 18 to 34-year-olds. So YouTube is powerful. It is, you can have your, you make one video, and I learned this from Linda. You make one video and then you load that up to YouTube and you have your own YouTube channel and you can get people to subscribe to it. So anyways, it is an excellent place to have a lot of your videos and another social media platform. So you can use YouTube to share, to entertain, to teach, do-it-yourself videos, behind-the-scenes type of videos, product videos, case studies, and interviews. So some of the YouTube business features is your YouTube channel and then subscribers. Actually, we at the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center have our own YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to it. And many of our webinars sit there for you to go back and watch and listen and learn at your leisure. Post-production and editing tools, those are some of the features that are available for businesses. You advertise on YouTube. and you can do YouTube stories. You can Google Analytics with your YouTube channel. So there are a lot of features available on YouTube. I was just thinking I probably need to do a digital marketing YouTube hour. Maybe I'll do that in September and just dive deep into a YouTube. Again, with video with our iPhones, they're easy. Or with Zoom, easy to do, easy to convert, to get over to YouTube, and then have that channel and link that channel in some of your email marketing or onto your website. So an excellent, engaging platform. Okay, Pinterest is the 4th largest social media in the US and almost one of the biggest search engines with more than 2 billion searches each month. Okay, go figure. It has 8 out of 10 moms use Pinterest. Majority of users earn more than $75,000 a year, and 85% of pinners are on mobile. So this is really a higher demographic, moms or women, it can be dads too, going to Pinterest to find family-friendly content. So if you are using Pinterest as one of your social media, and think about it as like a big, huge bulletin board, right? Where you pin different type of content about a certain subject. So it's a lot of parents go to Pinterest to find family-friendly content. How to put on a virtual birthday party, taking the family camping. What are some of the fun songs? What are some of the fun activities to do with children when we're hiking? All of those type of things are very popular right now on Pinterest, as well as do-it-yourself type of pins or boards. I use Pinterest personally just sometimes for redecorating, right? We're redecorating our home, or we're looking at updoing our home office because now we're suddenly at home more with virtual, and what are appropriate home offices decor for, especially for Zoom, where we're seeing the backdrops. So these are some of the type of businesses that do very well on using Pinterest. Inspirational and tips. A lot of nonprofits will use Pinterest for guides and itineraries. Most of our visitor-based businesses often are on Pinterest, and they're pinning about what they can do at their destination, what type of restaurants, or if you're looking for evening entertainment, and what is the itinerary. So they're building their bulletin board, or they're building their board around that specific activity. And then how-tos and carousels. Pinterest business features, only social media with a visual search. I love that one. Variety of pin gives you a variety of pins. That's a business feature. Shop the look pins, connect others, boards, and advertising. So these are really the Pinterest boards are like a digital analog for mood boards. They're used to group pins around a certain theme or topic. For example, you create a board for a product launch or for a seasonal content. Group boards are the same as boards, except more than one person can add content. Most group boards, 98% in fact, have less than 5 members. So 5 members around a group for a specific topic or theme, and they'll add to that group board. Secret boards. A secret board can only be seen by its creator and invited collaborators. When you create one, you'll see a locked symbol beside the board name. These are useful for planning when you don't want the public to see. Let's say you're doing a layout of an event and you want to see and pin ideas about how each of the event activities will look. And so you have your team on a secret board, right? A visual secret board. And then protected boards house promoted pins and are only available to advertisers. Pins on these boards can be seen across Pinterest, but the boards do not show up on profile pages. So there's a lot that you can dive in deep into Pinterest. And yes, it has analytics, because it is social media. It gives you behind the curtain secret look to see how it's performing. And you find it on your business page under analytics, and then overview section, which will provide impressions, engagements, liked, link clicks, and saves. You can also go to the audience insights to learn about your followers, interests, age, gender, and location. So this is not my Pinterest board. I wish I had that many impressions. This is actually a screenshot of a visitor, like a state tourism. I think this is Arizona's tourism, Department of Office of Tourism. So they, on their board, had 90,000 impressions. And over this period of time that they're looking at, this is over compared to the previous 31 days, it was up by 25%. Their total audience was up by 31%. And of course, they're pushing out a lot of content and very visual, and they had a lot of boards. But you can see that it was growing and that there were a lot of people coming to their Pinterest account. Review sites, I wasn't going to go into these deep because there's a lot of them. I just want to make sure that you are using them for making sure you're in managing your online reputation, because 93% of consumers take online reviews into account when making their purchasing decision. I can tell you for the younger generation, like my 24-year-old, we don't go nowhere unless it had a good review. It's just the way that they determine whether the place is somewhere where we want to eat or not. Businesses are often afraid to manage their customer reviews on business review sites, as they don't want to become fear of receiving negative online business reviews, or the business simply has unmanaged online reviews across multiple business review websites. So you want to make sure, again, you're managing your reviews, responding to them. And here are the review sites that are listed. Google My Business is #1 ranked by Alexa and any business, and these just give you the reviews for the best. Amazon is best review for e-commerce, Facebook for any business, Yelp. TripAdvisor is really around food and restaurant. BBB, Better Business Bureau, is really about any business. Angie's List down here is really service-related businesses. So these were just the top ones that came up. And if you are using Facebook, then use their review site. If you are Google My Business, then look at those review sites. If you are a hospitality type of sector, then maybe TripAdvisor or Yelp, but whatever these review sites are, make sure you put them on your list to check and engage and push out and respond to. Don't just let them be stagnant, because it's not doing us any good if they are. So in closing, I wanted to leave you with a dictionary. I found this very helpful. Engagement, what this means, in interactions with your post. That's our #1 priority with our social media marketing, is to have engagement, to have it shared, to have it comment, to have a like, really that engagement. That's the way we know that our content or our social media platform is performing for us for business. If we're not seeing that growing, we're not seeing shares on a regular basis, we have to relook at our content, because that means that it's just maybe not even going into the news feeds, or it's just not even engaging to your followers. Hashtags are designed to organize and categorize content. Reach is about the number of people who see your post. Impressions are the number of times your post is seen. Fans are people who like your page. Followers are people who follow your post. A little bit of a difference there. Geotag is the location tag on a post. Rich pin pins with information from your website, such as a price or availability, and then verified, established as an authentic account. So those are some of the just down and dirty top 10 type of things you'll see as you are looking at your social media insights or your page, or you hear people mention. So I'm going to leave you with a few next steps, and then I'm going to open it up to questions. Review your social media marketing goals and update your strategy for the remainder of the year. I know that it's hard to believe that this is the world we are operating in right now. I'm sensitive to that. But look at your upcoming Q4 and start to prepare for the last quarter of the year, especially if this is part of your high season, whether you're a retail business that depends on the holiday season, we just really, or you're just wanting to continue promoting and marketing the different ways that you're able to deliver products and services to your business, or you're going into maybe launching a series of events, virtual events, or maybe some small in-person gatherings in the last quarter of the year. But just think about these next 4 months to 6 months and assess how your social media is doing. Pick 1 or 2 platforms and say, these are the ones I'm going to really build out, and I'm going to really develop, and I'm going to really work on improving my engagement, improving my post variety and content, and lay out a plan. Continue to post organic content, experiment with video and stories, consider social commerce and ads when your budget allows, and then just dive deeper into those social media analytics. All right, I'm going to put back my video so you guys can see me. Take a deep breath. Did I lose everybody? Do I still have some people on here, Linda?
We still have quite a few people on, Lani.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging in there with me. I know I covered a lot of information and it was really high level, but I hope it just gave you a snapshot of some of these wonderful tools that are at our access.
And at this point, if you would like to turn your mic on, if you have a question, feel free to turn on your mic and ask that question. That way you can interact with Lani.
Yeah, hi, Lani.
Hi.
Hey, just wanted to know, are you going to be, thanks for doing this. This is great.
You bet.
I've been really turned off with a lot of social media, and this is inspiring me to just get over it and just accept that this is the way things are. Yeah, and just kind of restart. So are you going to put these? Okay, I got you. I see that the slides.
Yeah, we will
okay,
share
cool.
the PowerPoint slide decks. Yes.
So I've always wondered about like names and business names, and I've launched a couple of new sites. I've never been happy with like using my name, although it's kind of gotten traction. I'm just wondering, should I? And I'm talking to a couple of designers on like rebranding and redesigning and just kind of just having a whole new identity, like just an official name. I'm a photographer and I have a photo studio and I have a pretty good client list, but I'm just wondering if it would be more, it'd be better because my name's super ethnic and it's a mouthful for a lot of people. So I'm just wondering if I just came up with a name. Do you think that would be worth the, I guess kind of like loss of identity to just make it more a marketable product for people?
That's a really good question, and I get that question a lot with the artistic community because you are the product. You know, your name recognition is very important, just like an artist with their work. So you could have both. You could keep your name as the photographer and have your social. Maybe do your Instagram if you're using Instagram or your Facebook. Oh, there's my alarm. Let me turn it off. Use that to create around you as the person, the personality, the person behind the camera. And then if you wanted to have more of a firewall between you and you, the person, the photographer, and you wanted to maybe brand and work towards branding your business because maybe you're going to collaborate with some other photographers or some other artistic folks, and this is what your business would provide in addition to photography.
Yeah.
That might be a balanced way to look at it.
Okay.
I know that, for example, my husband is a picture framer, and then he's also a photographer, right? And so his picture framing business, we talk a lot about the picture framing and framing that, 422 fine photography, and picture framing is more about the frame and the end product we're trying to sell. And then Mr. Kitts, the photographer, has his own Instagram page where he will take, push out images he's doing personally and share them. So yeah, it's a hard balance, right?
Yeah.
And there isn't a right or wrong way. I know that some folks will do a business Instagram and then create a professional, professional persona.
So is the business Instagram, so you don't lose the personal when you do that. It's just a completely different thing.
Exactly.
It's like launching a whole new Instagram profile, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Right. It gives you some more, it gives you the ability to have a little bit more about your business, where your personal Instagram is more about you. So there's a separation there. So yeah, and it's totally, the firewall's totally there.
Okay. You just have to rebuild all those followers.
You do, but you can send out and invite and send out a personal message and let those who you want to then, hey, I just launched my new Instagram business page. Would you go and, like it, follow it?
Good idea. Great. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions?
We do. We have some other people that turned their mics on, so I'm thinking they have a question. Bill, did you have a question?
Yeah, I guess I have a question. I was just wondering about some of the other generations or things that are, trends that you think might occur, over the next 10 years. So there's, I think there's like there's, the generation born after 2010. So they're only like 10 years old or younger.
Yeah, I haven't. Go ahead.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Are they active, in any of these sites? And, where do you see that going with that generation?
They are very active on these sites, and there's a lot of parental control around them. My 40-year-old daughter has a 7-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 16-year-old, and they're all on social media. Now, how they use it and what they have access to is very different. But they are growing up. I mean, Generation Z is the first generation to be fully emerged and grown up with all of social media. So the next generation that's coming up is going to, especially now that we're having to teach virtual, they're comfortable with it. They like, TikTok was pretty much launched from appealing to a younger generation, but businesses are finding that it's becoming very popular. And if that's the demographics that you want to serve with your business, that's a place for you to then be able to be on TikTok. However, I have not looked into my crystal ball in the next 10 years. I was just trying to get through this next year, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's good to see where it's going,
Yeah.
But I mean, you heard with TikTok, I think they're trying to ban it, right? You heard that over the past couple of days, right?
Well, they're always trying to put more controls in things because it does get away from us, and then people are using it inappropriately and things like that. Yeah.
Well, I think what they were saying is that I think it's something with China, and that it's owned by a Chinese company, and that I don't know what's going on, but it's only been recently they've said stuff specifically about that particular name. I didn't really hear you mention that before in the talk.
No, I don't use that one because I find that most businesses need to figure out one or two of them that work well with and they can manage and do, versus going in trying to, go into what you do personally is different than for your business. And so I try to keep it business focused and what is the most appropriate for your business and your business mission and the products and services you're trying to promote and the audience that is your target market. And that's what I focus in on most of the time in terms of trying to really develop a strong social media platform for your business. What you go into personally can be something totally different. But that's a good, thank you, Bill. And I'll look into some trends. It just evolves so quickly and things come up so fast. And then there's apps for this and social media platforms. But I try to kind of keep it down to the basics, because if we get too spread out, too thin as business owners, we don't do anything well. So anyways.
That's true. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Destiny, I noticed you turned your microphone on. Did you have a question?
Well, actually, I was trying to process the whole last one, and I think it would be a difficult trend to try to get, because they can't legally have an account until they're 13. So
Right.
to know whether or not it's them, their parent, their older sibling, it would be hard to actually get an accurate consensus of that and where that trend is going.
Yeah, and I know that my daughter sent out, and I don't know, it was a parental control that she sent out that her son was requesting me to be a friend. I don't know, and I didn't really look into it too much because I didn't really want to be a friend with the 12-year-old. So I don't know whether really, if it was more of a parent-to-parent type of control that they were doing, and it was just
probably Facebook Messenger, because they do have a kids version.
that's what it is.
Total control over that.
Yes.
So my 4-year-old has that, but I can control exactly who she's allowed to message and who she can receive messages from.
There you go. Thank you for clarifying that. I will remember that and add that to my next presentation.
So I do have a question about TikTok. He mentioned TikTok, and I just recently been considering researching that myself. We're Shasta-Cascade Arts Council.
Yes.
So our goal is obviously to promote the artists in our area, but also to find ways to engage the new and upcoming artists, because we host the juried high school and middle school shows every year, art shows, and those are a big deal. This year, obviously, they didn't get to happen, but those are a big deal to us, and we want to encourage those young artists and keep engaged with them and others. And so I was going to look into TikTok. Are you against TikToks for businesses?
No, not at all. I am not against any social media platform that a business chooses to use. As long as, my recommendation is, as long as it's aligned with your audience and it's appropriate for your business model, then use it. Experiment with it, develop it, but be consistent. So, I am not familiar with TikTok. It's pretty new on the, it's just kind of like, the snapshot or Snapchat. I always call it snapshot. I like snapshot better. Snapchat, same kind of thing. It doesn't live real long. It's really quick. It's like, it's almost invisible because it just happens and then it's gone, right? Can't save it. So it's like a flash in the pan, and it does appeal to that younger demographics. Actually, my 24-year-old showed me her some TikTok, and she was just like, thought it was hilarious because what they were doing were bringing her back to when she was in 7th grade, and they were showing these little videos. Do you remember when you wore these knee-high socks? So I'm thinking, okay, so she was like reminiscing, and it was fashion reminiscing back when you were in 8th grade. So, I think for if your demographic is that younger group and you want to kind of appeal to that, you just have to design it so that it is delivering the message that you want to deliver for the Arts Council, and it will get to that audience. You just want to make sure that the message is something that is appropriate for the Arts Council, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get on it, let me know, because I would love to go and see it.
All right. I tend to plan bigger than I can actually implement.
There you go. Well, most of us do, so I'm with you. Thank you. You have any more?
None in the chat. And if a question has come up, feel free to turn on your microphone. If for some reason your microphone isn't working, then you are welcome to type in the chat, and I'd be happy to read your question for you. We'll give you a minute. I realize it takes a minute for people to get things typed in.
Well,
I do not see anything, Lani.
okay. Well, I'll let you be the closer, Linda. And I really want to thank everyone for joining me tonight and letting me share with you the top 8 most popular social media marketing platforms. And then Linda's going to tell you how to connect with what's our other upcoming workshops and trainings and one-on-one advising. So I'm going to go ahead and let her take over.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lani. So much information. Oh my goodness. I love that you talked about some other topics you can go more in depth on. And to let you know, in a couple days, what you're going to receive from Emily is an email. In there, there's going to be the slides that went along with this presentation, a link to the video, and also what's very important for us is a survey. And in that survey, by you filling that out, that shows that we are being effective and that we are delivering content to people, content that you need. And it's really important for us when it comes to our funders to show them how we're spending the money and that you're finding value. In that survey, we also ask you for what are other things that you would like training on. Lani mentioned a few today. You might have others, maybe something she didn't touch on doing an additional session for. So do consider that. And I just noticed a new comment come in the chat, Lani, about TikTok. It says, I think the reason, oh, it looks like they're touching on some details there.
Yeah.
Well, feel free to go in and read that chat if you'd like to. It's not a question, so I won't be addressing it with all of us. But just to let you know, Emily does send that email out. It takes a couple days for her to pull it together. And you can go to our website, which is sbdcsc.org. And there you can look at all the other webinars that we have scheduled. There are quite a few scheduled, and they're at different times of the day. And we encourage you to sign up and attend those webinars. We are really glad that you decided to join us today. Lani is available for people to meet with her. If you are in the Shasta Trinity counties, you can set up a session to meet with Lani, and you can arrange that through Emily. Her email is right there on that page. And what Lani does is she meets with people and she helps them one-to-one. These trainings are wonderful. They're great. They do a nice overview for you, but there's nothing quite like, for me, when I was setting up my company, there was nothing quite like me meeting with an SBDC advisor one-to-one for an hour where we worked on things specific to my business. And then they'd give me homework to do, and then we'd meet again for an hour, and they really helped me progress my business. So I encourage you to reach out to Lani if it's in the area we were talking about, or if there's other business areas you'd like to discuss. Talk with Emily. Have her assign you to an advisor to talk with you about the topics that you could use some support in. And that wraps it up. I don't want to wrap up without checking one more time with you, Lani. Anything else you'd like to mention before we close?
No, have a great week, and thank you, everyone. And I'll be watching for your social media platforms. I typically like or follow or engage with all of my clients because I got to keep on top of you. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope to see you at another webinar.